I got this goofball on a friend of mine's website or her Facebook page. So he's like arguing with me. He writes blogs. Anyway, in support of me, and I've helped build quite a bit of her career and find her a couple of different sponsors, and I just really wanted to help. So in support, she posted up some stuff from Dakota Access Pipeline in support for me. So, he felt the need to throw in Tommy Lauren's point of view and, her support, and, that's all fine and great. And I kind of said, I think that you're on a soapbox and you don't really know what you're talking about. So, anyway, in short, we wind up arguing back and forth, about some things, and I'm just saying, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I said that the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1851 actually says that that is our land. And, I said the truth is that you just pick and choose, what you want to, back then, I almost say white people because, but white people, they pick and choose what they want to, what they want to use and what they want to give natives. Kind of like giving us always the middle finger. So then his counter was, well, you got to let bygones be bygones, and you know what, that didn't happen to you. And I'm kind of like, you're absolutely right. However, there's this thing called the Constitution. Let me guess, that's a document that you still abide by. That's actually older than the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1851. I said, so when it comes to me, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you pick and choose based on you and your family and your loved one's bank account. Because the truth is this. They should be paying us royalties. Every fucking business should be paying us royalties. Every business, every landowner, any person here. And somebody said, well, you wouldn't have all the technology, and this is somebody else, that you wouldn't have all this technology and electricity and this and that. I disagree. I think that there's a successful way that, yes, white folks could have actually got in touch with us and said, you know what, there are some things you natives don't know that, we're willing to strike a business deal to bring all of these things in there. And they didn't have to slaughter us. In fact, we lost 100 million. And anybody that throws life away by the wayside like that, man, you're not cool with me. And anyway, we got to arguing about the merits of, his argument. And his argument mostly was this, that, it didn't happen to me, and, that it wasn't on our land, and we were protesting. I said, you do realize that pipeline was supposed to go through Bismarck, I said, there, you have police in 8 states looking over an interest of a pipeline. You have banks. I'm laughing because today my conversation was about scholarships and helping people. And whenever I woke up after being awake for about 36 hours, after volunteering, doing some stuff, though, one of the things is that I got an opportunity to talk to someone about them creating a bank account, and they're with the Department of Treasury talking back and forth and sustainability and investments, and man, that's amazing. I've been pulling research between central banks versus there's 2 other banks that are going up that are not really tied to the International Monetary Fund. So, there's a lot more that I do than fighting, dealing with oil, coal, natural gas, investments, saltwater disposals, banks, nonprofit organizations, grant writing. I've kind of slowly been talking to some folks about cannabis, and if you get a second, I don't really know how to deal with that because a lot of my Kiowa family through the Big Bow, there's a man with my family named Charlie Kirketneck, and his last name was Big Bow, but he brought peyote meetings to Montana, and considering the pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that and how much they make these days, a good portion of people don't grasp the concept that, you know, that pharmaceutical companies give a lot of money to politicians through, you know, nonprofit organizations and political action committees. I mean, it's big business, though. I mean, what do we cure? We don't really cure anything. We still got HIV, we got diabetes, we got cancer, and really what happens is that you see these big pharmaceutical companies and these privatized hospitals, because they are. They're 501c3s, 501c6s, and 501c4s. And man, I've done my homework when it comes to that stuff, and you know, it's kind of sad that you have an opportunity to see where companies are just greedy, and really all they're really worried about is pushing the price higher. And you know, when will the people fight back, and when, you know, how can they buy the media, and how can they buy like soap opera effect and kind of, you know, make things happen? You know, how can they cut out the media, and how can they? Denzel Washington did put it right. He said, you know, to be honest with you, it's not, media is about today, it's not about being even right. It's about who can get it out there the furthest, or get it out there the quickest. It doesn't matter who we step on, who we hurt, or any of that, you know. That's why when I used to have the website, we wrote for the Los Angeles Times, I didn't know anything at all about online marketing. And then somebody took me aside, they said hashtags, and then what is hashtags going into search engine optimization, search engine marketing, and being able to do that, being able to hyperlink, and, you know, just different stuff like that. So today I use all of that stuff. I use it in my media, and it's, man, it's, you know, it's time consuming. When I post something, it generally takes a little longer than normal. So, you know, when I get an opportunity to make a little bit more money, I can probably outsource. And, you know, a lot of outsourced companies are like Belgium or Bulgaria, India, and Pakistan that, you know, because honestly, that's where they send those jobs. That's where they send a lot of jobs, though, for like whenever they make clothes and stuff, because they work for 10 cents and no bathroom breaks. And that's really not on me, though, man. I tried to put on a cape and say that's slavery, because it is. It is slavery. But I've learned that I cannot control people, places, or things. I can't control their governments. I can't control what they do. I've sent people to Pakistan to get shirts made, because in America they'll make them for, you know, they'll make them like $8 per, as opposed to Pakistan they'll make them for $1.25. They'll shave off $7, and people are like, that's good business. I mean, you know, whenever I'm making a T-shirt and I'm gonna put my own logo on it, you know, the only deal is you got to get good people that you can trust, and that'll send the, you know, that'll send the order. So anyway, that's international business for you. But anyhow, when it comes down to it, to this original blog writer, here's what I have to say. Of course you want peace. You want peace because this. Because today, you already own most of the land and the natural resources on our land. Yes, our land. Of course you want peace. We're from a warrior society. We will fight you for it, and you're well aware that we're willing to die. We're from tribal nations, and all I tell you is this, is that maybe you don't know that we're ranked #1 when it comes to the enrollment of natives of American military. You don't see Donald Trump talking about his tour in Nam or the Korean War. You don't see Bush. So all I'm trying to tell you is this. Maybe it is a European blood enjoys, maybe the European blood in you enjoys talking shit from a soapbox. You don't really know anything about war because you've never been there. Neither have I. You know, I got told not to. The truth is that Native veterans, or I gave Native veterans my pay on my last fight. But the reason that I did that is because the United States Army some years back actually gave us natives smallpox blankets, and that's a very tough pill to choke down. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I look at things like this, that we're willing to fight over our things. We're willing to fight over our traditions, our culture, and our way of life. And I don't really concern myself with anything outside the native tradition because, you know what, I've read in history where I've seen kingdoms rise and fall. The truth is that we just been under a tyrant for 500 years. If you've ever learned the native way, we don't want y'all out of here. We don't want white folks. We don't want black folks out of here, or even the assimilated tribal people. We don't want that. We actually embrace you guys. You know, we're going to survive, and we always will. And it's an amazing thing to learn what we learn and what we know. You know, for me to dispose of my heroes, to be able to dispose of all that and to throw it away, it would be like throwing away my flashlight because I'm still under the tyrant's house. Throw away my flashlight. Why would I do that? We know how to hunt. We're tribal people. We're warriors. Not only that though, man, like we just do buffalo hunts. We're not greedy people. We take care of one another. It's a good thing. You know, nobody said the native way didn't work. In fact, it does for us. It's just this: if we choose to always empower your people, then we're going to have a problem empowering our own. That's why you see native girls and black girls running around with white dolls, just being honest with you. So, in retrospect, I have yet to ever go into a tribal home. I have yet to ever go into a black home and ever go hungry. And as my grandfathers and my grandmothers, they tell me, they say when they originally came here, we taught them how to farm, we taught them how to wash their ass, and we also taught them how to hunt. Because whenever they were here, because they didn't know how to hunt and they didn't know how to farm, they started digging up the graves of people and they started eating them because they didn't know any better. They didn't know how to hunt. They were eating the grass. They didn't wash their ass. That's why still today, you have people, when they get married, they have a, what is it?
And the real one is
They have a bouquet. So, you know, it covered up the stench. So, anyway, I got to get...